section 8.4 in point slope form, part 1. So this is the example of point slope form. It's a formula, y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. And this is what we are going to be using during these notes. So what we're going to do is use the point slope form of the equation to identify a point where the line passes through and identify the slope of the line. So the slope of the line is located right here in front of the parentheses. So m is negative 2/3. And then to identify the point of the line, what you do is you look at the opposite of what is there. So y minus 9, the opposite point, because in the formula it is subtraction. So we have to take the opposite sign. So the point would be y equals 9. And then here for the x values, you look at the opposite sign. So the point would be x equals 21. So if I were to write that as a coordinate, I would write 21, 9 as a coordinate. Looking at number 2, we're going to do the same thing. So we are going to identify m and identify the coordinate. So m is the number in front of the parentheses, so 3. In order to identify the coordinate, you take the opposite of what's beside the y. So y minus 2, the opposite would be positive 2. And then x plus 8, the opposite would be negative 8. So my point would be negative 8, 2. Doing the same thing on number 3. Identify the slope. M is 3. My y value, I take the opposite value that's there. So y is 7. And then my x value would be positive 4. So my point would be 4, 7. Number 4, m would be the number in front of the parentheses, so 1/3. Y is the opposite of what's there, so positive 1, and x is the opposite, so negative 6. My coordinate would be negative 6, 1. On number 5, I have to convert the equation from slope-intercept over to point slope. Okay, so what you're going to do first is you are going to choose an x value. And generally, it doesn't really matter what you choose. I try to choose something easy to work with, like 1. So after I choose an x value, I'm going to solve the equation for y. So I have y equals negative 3/5 parentheses 1, because I chose that x value, plus 3, and then I'm going to solve for y. So y equals negative 3/5 plus 3, and then if I keep that as an improper fraction, I would get y equals 12/5. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is you're going to substitute the point into the formula. Okay, so you're going to substitute that point into that point slope formula. So y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. So I'm going to plug in, the minus is always there. So y minus, my y is 12/5 equals my m, which is slope, is negative 3/5. And then I have parentheses x minus my x value, which is 1. Okay, so that would be my entire equation in point slope form. So we're going to do this again on number 6. Okay, so on number 6, I'm going to start doing the same thing. I'm going to pick a point, plug it in. So let's say I